Hello everyone, today I'm here to not talk about books. It's a shocker, I know. No, I do this occasionally. I'm talking today about things I've recently watched, or shall I say, Watchables. I don't know if I like that. I thought I would title that because I'm Bookables, so why not talk about things that I watch called Watchables? Is that lame? You let me know. I might entitle this series that. I don't know, but let me know if you can think of a good name for it. So this video series that I'm starting off, it's officially kicking off this video, is just gonna be talking about things that I've watched recently in the past few months. And I say few months because I don't feel like I watch enough new things to garner this video every single month, because that's how much of a lame person I am. So these are gonna be like quarterly, probably like every few months, every 2 months maybe, I don't know, depends on if I can get out and see things. Talking about movies I watched recently, and these could be newly released movies, like I go to the theater and see them, or they could be ones where I watch at home that are new to me movies. Either way, that's what it's gonna be. And also talking about shows that I watched recently, and usually when I say show, it's gonna be a whole season, not just a few episodes. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So if you like the name Watchables, let me know. If you can think of another clever title for this video series, let me know. I'm very open to suggestions because Watchables probably isn't that appealing or sounds that great. Let's talk to you guys about all the things I've watched recently. So I have seen 3 movies in theaters in the past couple months, which is actually really good. I don't get to go to the theater as much as I want to. If I could, I would go every single weekend. I'm not kidding. I love going to the movies. I love getting popcorn and cherry coke and watching trailers and watching a movie on the big screen. But with life, with mom life, business life, home life, it's just not very feasible for me. It would be amazing though. So I can only usually go to the theater about twice a month, which I still think is pretty good in my opinion. But I've seen 3 movies in the past couple months. So the first movie I want to talk about is Ocean's 8. So this is kind of like the female version of Ocean's 11, and it stars like Sandra Bullock, Mindy Kaling, Rihanna, Anne Hathaway, Helen Bonham Carter, Kate Blanchett, I think. It stars a whole array of cast, a great cast of females, and it's basically like a typical heist movie. If you've seen Ocean's 11, that's all you need to know. I'm a big fan of the Ocean's 11 trilogy. I love a good heist movie. I haven't seen as much of them as I want to, but I mean, I just love Ocean's 11. So I was going into this expecting a fun heist time, and I think it was just that. This movie literally is a great heist movie. It's about Sandra Bullock getting out of prison. Basically, she wants to rob the Met Gala and steal this really like insanely expensive necklace, and she enlists a team of people and she goes do it. And I really enjoyed it. I loved it because it was all female and it was all about female heist people, and I just thought it was a really good time, so I would recommend it. Like, I don't think you're gonna walk out of the theater thinking, this blew my mind. I think it's just a fun movie to watch about a heist. It's not gonna, like I say, be with you, like stay with you forever. So overall, I give it a 3.5, maybe 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Definitely recommend it. I don't know what the ratings are on it. I'm not that good of a movie reviewer yet. Maybe one day I will be, but I liked it. The next movie I saw is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Is that right? Yes. So I've been a big Jurassic Park fan ever since the first movie came out years and years ago. I love Jurassic Park. I think my favorite is Lost World because of those raptors and the long grass. Like, oh, such a good scene. I haven't been in love with the big reboot of it called Jurassic World. I do love Chris Pratt and that he's in it, but I don't love his character necessarily, and I don't really love Bryce Dallas Howard in her character either. But if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I think a lot of us don't watch Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies for the actors. We watch it for the dinosaurs. At least I do. I just want a good dinosaur, you know, fight, intense time, and I think this delivered. I do think a lot of the plot, like it's very, very busy in the first 30 minutes of the movie. Like so much happens, and it's just like, whoa, there's no really development. It just put you straight in there, which I don't know if I like that with the way it played out, because obviously a lot of things happen in the first 30 minutes to set up the stage for the rest of the movie, but I felt like the rest of the movie was kind of okay. I liked it. I didn't love it. I would give it like a 3 out of 5. It wasn't amazing. Was it a good dinosaur-rific time? Yes, it was. We got to see a new evolution of dinosaur. I wish my girl T-Rex was in it more and my girl Raptor, but they weren't, sadly. But either way, I mean, It's okay. I think it's necessary. I think it is good to go see in the theaters because, you know, it's loud, dinosaurs are, you know, in your face, but I don't know if I liked it. I'm just gonna be one of those old people that like the original stuff much better than the remakes and the you know, going on the series. That's gonna be me probably because I just don't think anything could really touch the first 2 Jurassic Parks. I may be totally alone on this. I may be not. Jeff Goldblum was in it, which was great. I liked it. I didn't love it, but if I'm honest with you, that was my exact expectation for it going into it, was expecting to like it and not love it. So I guess it fulfilled in that category. I don't know. And the next movie I want to talk about is a new Netflix original movie called The Setup. This has, oh my gosh, I cannot think of the actors. I know it has Lucy Liu in it and Taye Diggs, and I can't remember the other 2 characters' names. Basically, this is a rom-com, which I am a sucker for. I feel like there has not been a good rom-com in years. It's ridiculous. A guy and girl that are assistants to these really powerful people, and they work all the time. They have no lives. They can't do anything, so they decide, hey, let's set our bosses up together. Then maybe we can have a life, and you can guess where the plot goes from there. I did really like it. I feel like it was a little bit too long of a movie. I feel like I could have probably cut it by like 30 to 45 minutes. And I would have really loved it because kind of at the end it got kind of a little bit lengthy, it kind of drug on a little bit, but overall I did enjoy this movie. I loved the whole setup scheme. I love that it was a rom-com, and I really felt like it was, I liked the actors and I liked the characters they portrayed, so I did really enjoy this and I would recommend it if you have Netflix, because if you're like me and just love a good rom-com, I'm talking about like You've Got Mail, Julie and Julia, like Bring It On, 10 Things I Hate About You kind of rom-coms. Those are some of my favorite, by the way. I think you would like this one. It's not gonna blow your mind or anything, but it's gonna be just a cute, fun time. I liked it, so I give it like a 3.5, maybe. The last movie I want to talk about is one that I just saw very, very recently, and that is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I usually always try to go to the theater to see Marvel movies because I'm a Marvel junkie, as most people are, which is totally awesome, I think. This is the sequel to the original Ant-Man, which I really liked. I don't think I liked this one as much as Ant-Man, but I did really enjoy it. I am a sucker for Paul Rudd. Have been ever since Clueless. I just love that man. And I can't really tell you much about this movie without talking about Ant-Man. Ant-Man's basically a superhero that can turn like really small into an ant, like the size of an ant. I do feel like there were a lot of things going on in this movie. I think Marvel movies sometimes are best when you have a direct villain and that is your whole plot and maybe like a subplot. With Ant-Man and the Wasp, I feel like we had 4 subplots going on. We have a goal we wanted to get to, but we also had like a subplot, and a subplot, and a subplot. Like, there was a villain that wasn't really necessarily a villain, I would say, because you really felt something for the villain and you didn't really portray them as a villain, at least my opinion. We also kind of had like the FBI, then we also had another bad guy, and it just got a little bit entangled a little bit too much. So I didn't love it for that matter, because that's just my opinion. Also, I mean, Ant-Man deals a lot with quantum physics because, you know, the fact that he can go tiny to a little, like, size of an ant, it deals with, like, the quantum physics and the quantum realm, and that's where it gets dicey for me because I am not sciencey at all, so I'm just like, I don't know what we're talking about. So I like it, but I don't understand it that much, which is why Ant-Man's not one of my favorite Marvel movies ever. Ant-Man the Wasp, I love the Wasp. I love Lily Evangeline, I think. She was from Lost. I think she's a great Wasp. I thought she kicked butt in this, and I loved every second of it because that woman is amazing, and I love watching her. So I loved how we got to see like her in action and things like that, and I loved Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. So I do recommend this movie. I mean, if I'm honest with you, I'll watch anything Marvel puts out because that's who I am. So overall, it's not one of my favorite Marvel movies ever, but I think it's a solid one. I enjoyed it. I give it a 3.5, maybe 3.75 out of 5. I liked it. Now moving on to shows. So I have quite a few shows. The first one is being The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. This is either its 3rd season or its 4th season, and this season it's kind of split up, I believe. Netflix is releasing like 6 episodes, part 1, and then 6 episodes part B. So the first half of the latest season just got released, and I watched it and I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite season. Kimmy Schmidt is just a really cute show. I've watched it since the beginning because Ellen Campor was in The Office and Tina Fey is directing it and, you know, helped create it and things like that, and I love Tina Fey. And I love Kimmy Schmidt. And surprisingly, I think, not surprisingly probably, I think a lot of people just continue to watch Kimmy Schmidt for Titus alone. Me too. Like, I love Kimmy Schmidt, but Titus steals the show. When this show ends, if Titus is not offered his own show, that would be a travesty. Just watch it alone for him. He's hilarious. He's the best. I can't tell you what this season's about, but it was hilarious. Schmidt is not, I would say it's one of my favorite Netflix original shows of all time. I don't know, but either way, it's a hilarious, fun show, and I would recommend it. They're easy to fly through and fun time. So I would give this season, I feel like I can't give it a definitive grade because the whole season hasn't even been released yet. So right now, I'm gonna leave it like at a 3 out of 5. We'll see how it goes. So I watched is the second season of Riverdale. So here's one thing that you need to know about me is that I am a horrible week-to-week watcher. I just don't do it often. The only shows I do that for are Bob's Burgers and Shark Tank, and that's only because my husband and I watch those together. And other than that, I just don't watch shows week to week. I've just learned that I am not great at it anymore. So instead of, you know, beating myself up for it, I just wait till the whole season's done and then I just binge watch the hell out of it. And that's exactly what I did for Riverdale. So Riverdale, if you don't know, which I'm sure you do, it's kind of a very loosely based Archie retelling or Archie kind of show. And this whole season, I watched the first season. I mean, Riverdale's trash. It's not that great. I mean, I think people don't come to Riverdale for really riveting action and riveting character performances and acting. They just come for a good time and insane plot twist. And Riverdale delivers on those two things. So Riverdale show that I don't like telling a lot of people I watch because it's a bad show. But it's so addicting. Goodness me, if I didn't fly through the second season. Like, any opportunity I could watch that show, I did. Like, I had to figure out what happened, and it's just like, like I say, their plot twists are just insanity. There's no way any of this stuff could happen. Goodness, if I did not watch every second of that on the edge of my seat, wanting more, needing more, I'm just trash TV, and I am trash for it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because of the sheer entertainment vector for myself. I know. You're gonna be mad at me. Sorry. The last show I want to talk about is another Netflix original show, and that is Glow. So the second season of Glow just came out, and I never watched the first season, and it wasn't until a friend of mine told me that he had watched Glow and he really liked it, and I was like, well, if he liked it, I probably will like it. And he watched it, and of course he was right. We have very similar tastes with shows. And Glow is basically about 80s woman wrestling show, and we have, oh goodness, I forget everybody's name. It was the girl from Community. She's an actress and she's trying to make her big break, and then she finally gets involved with like this women's wrestling show, and you know, things happen, and her best friend or ex-best friend comes in as well. And basically it's just kind of, the first season is really building up on them training to be wrestlers and learning their characters and kind of developing the show. And the second season really takes off with them filming the show, with going week to week, and with their storylines and things like that. So you're kind of watching a show within a show, which are some of my favorite shows to watch. I really like Glow for the sheer fact of that it's women's wrestling, because my brother watched a lot of WWF when we grew up. I don't know why, we just did. And for the fact that it's in the 80s, oh my goodness, was this such an 80s show. I loved every second of it. This show, it's not like super funny, but it's also like not down, depressed, serious. That's my ratings. I would say it's kind of in the middle. They talk a lot about serious things. There's talks about miscarriage in the show. There's talks about abortion. There's talks about rape. There's talks about women in the workplace, especially in the 80s and things like that. So I really love for the things that they talk about in the show, and also the characters. They're very unlikable characters in the beginning, and you don't really see how much growth they could have, and you really don't root for them until the season progresses on, especially the main character. The main character from the very first episode you think you like her, and then you learn something that she's done, and they're just like, no, I can never like this character. But then she progresses on, and she is a good character despite of what she's done, and things like that. It's a very complex show, but it's very, very fun to watch and addicting. I flew through the first 2 seasons. If I can give them ratings, I would give season 1 a 3.5 out of 5, and I would give season 2 a 4 out of 5. I really like it. It's a great Netflix show. I'm beating myself up for waiting this long to watch it, but I got to watch 2 seasons back to back, so it can't be that bad. But either way, I highly recommend this one. It's a great Netflix original, and I know there's a ton of them out there, but I did really enjoy this one. There you have it. Those are all the movies and shows I've watched recently. I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not watching anything. My husband just wanted to start a rewatch of Parenthood, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know what movies are coming out recently, so hopefully I'll film another one of these in like September or October. We'll just have to wait and see. Either way, if you guys like watching this and watch me just butcher reviewing shows and movies, let me know. And if you hate it as well, let me know. I'd love your feedback on this. Either way, I hope you guys liked it a little bit, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.